This week on LSR Adventures.
Good morning.
Not ready.
No. Well, I am.
Alright, for real this time. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We wanted to start off by kind of reintroducing ourselves again. We've got some new followers. And so kind of wanted to tell you a little bit about our channel and what we're doing.
Yeah. I'm Sherry.
I'm Robert.
Our son is Landon. He's 10. He you can see him sometimes in the videos, but he prefers to kind of stay behind the scenes.
That's right.
We have a dog, Winston.
We do.
We have a new addition to the family, but
We do.
more on that later. Her name is Lola.
We're going to tease that one out a bit.
We are LSR Adventures.
LSR is an acronym of sorts. L, S, and R for Landon, Sherry, and Robert. It's just the phonetic spelling of it. But what we're doing is we left our house in Vancouver, Washington, and moved to Kentucky to homestead to fix up this old house, to raise some livestock, raise bees, and do some gardening.
Yeah.
So we're happy to have you along for our adventure. That's who we are.
That's who we are.
That's who it is. If you have any questions, feel
LSR.
free to drop them in the comments. We're a pretty open book, so feel free to ask away. If we don't want to answer it, we just won't.
Exactly.
So, back to the adventure. This video is about our bees. We installed our bees just over a week ago, and we did 4 packages into our 4 hives. So we're starting from scratch with those, and we wanted to kind of show you a little bit of the process.
Yes. So when we started this video, we tried really hard to make sure that our mic worked for the wind, because we live on a hill and it gets windy sometimes. It didn't work, guys. So Robert had to do a voice memo, audio, whatever you call it, over the video. So sorry, we're gonna get a better mic. So if you know of any better mics for wind, let us know.
For sure. The wind would be nice to not have to deal with, but
It is what it is.
We also kind of wanted to check in with you guys and just see what kind of content you're really into. So I'm really fascinated by bees and I love sharing about them. So if it ever gets too involved as far as talking about the specifics of beekeeping, let us know. If you like that sort of content, let us know too, because I'd love to share more information on it. Yeah. Same thing with gardening or any of our house projects. However, we aren't professionals.
Yeah, we're not experts at anything by any means.
We sure aren't.
This is just how we do things. And we do like to explain how and why we're doing the things we're doing and the way we're doing it. So if that's not something that you guys are really interested in, just drop a comment, let us know.
So should we just jump into the bee video?
Yeah. Here's an update on our bees.
Here you go.
That's good.
You liked it?
Oh, we didn't say bye.
Bye.
What you got there?
Laffy Taffy.
Mmm.
These are a pollen patty substitute, so this makes up for the bee bread. If the bees are having trouble finding pollen and nectar, we'll feed them the sugar syrup for the nectar part. These are a substitute for the pollen. When we're inspecting a hive, we'll use a little bit of smoke at the entrance to help keep the bees calm, makes them kind of gorge on honey, and it also disrupts their pheromones from spreading around the hive. And pheromones are how they communicate danger, so kind of disrupts that communication system. So pull off the outer cover and then pull off the inner cover. We have bees up on the top of the inner cover. We're going to check it for queens. And then we're going to make a little bit of space so we can be able to pull out the middle frames, which are most likely the place that the queens are going to be in this situation where our queen cages are located. You can see that queen cage is still secured with a rubber band. The queen cage is in fact empty, so she's out on the frames somewhere, and we're going to try to find her. You can see all the bees stacked up on top of that frame. It's a pretty good full frame of bees. It makes it a little bit more difficult to spot the queen. As we look a little bit closer at these cells, you can see that there's actually looks like a little grain of rice in there, and that's the eggs that the queen has been laying. A little difficult to see, and I'll show you a little bit better of a picture later. All right, we're going to go ahead and remove this queen cage and set it aside. I learned after the fact that rubber bands really aren't the best method to secure these, and I'll talk a little bit about it here and a little bit toward the end of the video.
Careful, because you don't want to snap back. Oh, is that the queen right there?
There's the queen, right next to the rubber band, right where we don't want her.
There.
We don't want to snap her, but now that we know where she's at, so we can make it quick to get this rubber band off. We don't have to worry about hurting her. That was my big concern, is not knowing exactly where she's at to pull this rubber band out of there. There she is.
I'm just gonna pull it.
Alright, so we'll get one more quick look at her. Sherry here is pointing at the queen. The queen is just above her fingertip. You can see her abdomen sticking out there just above the finger. And then we'll let it roll just a little bit, and then we'll give you another freeze frame of a better view of the queen right there. And then her retinue of workers also. The retinue takes care of the queen. They feed her, they touch her antenna and spread out her pheromone. They'll clean her, and they'll also take out her excrement out of the hive. If you can tell, they're all facing her though. So you'll see a little circle of bees around the queen usually. Now that we've seen that the queen's in there, she's laying, she looks healthy, we're going to go ahead and fix up our frames. I will put our pollen patty onto the top of the frames. That way they can use that to feed the brood once they develop a little bit further. Then we'll put the inner cover on, and then finally the outer cover, and we'll move on to the next hive. We've got 4 hives here. We'll go through each one just the same as we did the last, and hopefully they're all in as good order as the first one. Alright, so we got an empty queen cage, which is a good sign. See a lot of nectar in here. Seeing some drones.
She's right there.
There she is right there.
And the box.
See if I can find any. There's eggs up here in this top corner.
Oh, yeah, she's under. She's right there.
So she's trying to stay out of the light. We're going to try to gently move this cage out. There she goes.
Yeah, she's off to the side.
We'll shake these bees in. We got a gander at her. She looks like she's healthy. She's got eggs in her cells. Can you do a close-up, see if you can see any of those eggs? Maybe if I hold this. All right, here's a good view of what the eggs actually look like. So I'll point out an egg, and then I'll show you what the nectar looks like. So there is the egg that looks like a little grain of rice, like I said before. And then the nectar you can see glistening in that cell. Obviously, the queen's not going to lay an egg in a cell filled with nectar. So there's a good view of the eggs. All right, hive number 4. We're going to do just the same thing again. Taking off the covers, looking for a queen. We spotted a drone there on the top. Drones have a fat abdomen that's rounded rather than pointed like the queen, but they are larger than the workers. As we flipped this frame over, she really jumped out. There's not that many bees on this frame, so she's really easy to spot. There she is right above Sherry's finger again. She was just crawling along this frame. There really wasn't any drawn comb, so there's really no reason for her to be on this side. I imagine she was, like I said, on the other side and came down to this side.
So now that we know where she's at, we can safely remove our band and box.
Took this final cage out. We'll reset all these frames into their proper order and spacing, and then we'll be done inspecting for the day right after this pollen patty goes on. And we'll probably give them another 2 weeks before we go back into that hive. It gives them enough time to really get the brood developed, as well as just time to pull comb and figure out their new situation. So you want to talk about the good things. Got queens in all hives, we saw them all. Got eggs in all the hives, saw eggs in each one, which means the queen is laying. They are starting to drop comb, which is great. I don't have a ton yet. So the issue is going to be whether or not the queen has enough room to lay with them filling a lot of the cells with nectar. It's always a competition. The workers want to fill with nectar and pollen, and the queen wants to lay eggs. So they kind of bounce back and forth. Everything looks all right. The big learning moment here for me is not using the rubber bands for the queen cages. We saw in 2 of them that the rubber bands are broken, which might not be that big of a deal as long as she's out and safe. But if they would have chewed through it with her in there and her cage fell down onto the candy plug side, she could have got stuck in there. All right, we're all wrapped up for the day. We've got the bees all tucked in. This video was taken prior to the inspection, so they're nice and calm. But I wanted to talk a little bit about what the next steps are. We're going to give them about 2 weeks to really settle in, draw more comb, lay more eggs, and collect nectar and pollen for those brood. We really want to minimize the disruptions of the hive as much as we can to allow them to do their thing. It'll reduce their stress and my stress. But we'll keep the syrup feeder filled, and we'll add another pollen patty if they're not really bringing in pollen by the next time we inspect. But otherwise, we're done for today. If you would, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, hit the notification bell if you want to get notifications of our videos, and comment down below. It really helps us out. We'd love to see the comments and react to them. And I think maybe the next video we'll do a little bit of talking about Lola. So stay tuned. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Like and subscribe for more amazing content, and comment down below what you liked most about this video.